Skemergrond spoilers for August 2026. The wedding bells had barely fallen silent when the first cracks began to show. Gemoedsdrif was drowning in celebration as Manny and Tillie finally sealed their love beneath the African sky. But even as champagne glasses clinked and laughter echoed across everlasting, three separate storms were gathering on the horizon. Christine, cornered and desperate, tried to bribe her way out of trouble only to find that even money has its limits. Her grip on the town was slipping, and she knew it. The investigation into Isaac was consuming Ruan entirely. Every lead felt like a dead end, until Amber, stubborn and reckless, stumbled upon a breakthrough that could either save them all or destroy everything. She was too young to understand the danger, too determined to walk away, and too much like her mother to listen to reason. Ruan watched her inch closer to the flame and felt his stomach turn. Kevin heard the winning rap song on the radio and nearly drove off the road. The voice was unmistakable. The words were his. Somewhere out there, Rafi G was living Kevin's dream, and the betrayal cut deeper than any wound he'd ever suffered. Gloria watched her husband spiral into obsession and knew that if she didn't tell him the truth soon, the secret would tear them apart anyway. Dirk stood in the ruins of his reputation and finally understood. Christine hadn't forced him to make those choices. She'd simply opened the door, and he'd walked through it willingly. The realization was a bitter pill, but it was the first step toward redemption. Cheryl arrived in town just as the dust was settling, her presence at the bistro raising eyebrows and questions in equal measure. The wedding was a triumph of love over chaos. Manny and Tillie exchanged vows, while the entire town watched, their joy momentarily silencing the whispers and the scheming. But even as the bride and groom danced beneath the fairy lights, Hazel and Lily were hatching their own plan, a bold move against Christine that could either end her reign or ignite a war. Amber was playing with fire, and everyone knew it except her. She'd made an impression on Isaac, and that impression was going to get someone killed. Ruan wrestled with the impossible choice: use her as bait to catch the predator, or protect her and let justice slip through his fingers. His conscience screamed at him from both directions. Tillie refused to leave for her honeymoon. The farm was her home now, and she wasn't about to abandon it for some luxury getaway. But her decision to stay came with unexpected consequences. Boundaries were blurred, tensions rose, and Patty found herself desperate to pry the newlyweds out of her house. Kevin's obsession reached fever pitch. Every waking moment was consumed by the hunt for Rafi G, and Gloria had finally had enough. She sat him down and spoke the words she'd been dreading, the truth about the rap song and the identity of the man who'd stolen his work. The confession shattered something in Kevin, but it also set him free. Ruan set the trap, knowing full well the risks. Amber was his bait, Isaac was his target, and Lily was the woman he was slowly losing in the process. Every secret he kept from her drove another wedge between them, but he couldn't afford to let her in, not when the danger was this real. Christine refused to play by Sentinel's rules. The business opportunity that could have saved her empire came with strings she wouldn't accept, and so she chose to fight her own battle. But somewhere along the way she'd lost her focus, and the realization hit her like a freight train. She'd been so consumed by revenge that she'd forgotten why she started fighting in the first place. Tillie's presence at Lang Valoran was becoming untenable. She was everywhere, in everything, her well-meaning interference driving Patty to the brink of madness. The final straw came when Tillie's overstepping created an awkward situation with Xander, and Patty finally understood that she needed to draw a line, no matter how painful it might be. The sting operation moved forward with terrifying momentum. Amber agreed to meet Isaac in person, and Ruan's stomach churned with the weight of what he was about to do. He'd promised Lily he'd keep her daughter safe, and now he was about to throw her to the wolves. The hypocrisy was not lost on him. Junior saw the writing on the wall and tried to intervene. He warned Amber about the path she was walking, but she was too far gone, too convinced of her own invincibility to hear reason. The Liu family watched helplessly as their youngest member danced on the edge of a knife. Christine's new plans for her company were audacious. She would rise again, no matter what it took, no matter who she had to destroy. The pitch was ready, the strategy was sound, and confidence dripped from every word she spoke. But behind the bravado, the cracks were showing, and even Christine couldn't hold them together forever. Ruan was torn between love and duty. Lily had started to suspect something was wrong, and every evasion, every half-truth, every silence eroded the trust between them. The investigation into Isaac consumed him, but the cost was becoming unbearable. The month ended with chaos and consequences. Tillie's refusal to step back had created a rift that couldn't be healed with kind words. Amber's recklessness had put the entire operation at risk and deepened the chasm between Ruan and Lily. And somewhere in the shadows, Christine was still scheming, still plotting, still waiting for her moment to strike. The dust had settled on Everlasting, but the tremors were just beginning. August had tested every loyalty, shattered every illusion, and left Gemoedsdrif teetering on the edge of disaster. The wedding was over, the investigation was reaching its climax, and the secrets that had been buried for years were clawing their way to the surface. As the sun set on another month, one thing was certain. September would demand answers that no one was ready to give. The question wasn't who would survive. The question was who would still be standing when the dust finally cleared.